Fantastic. All right. I'm going to stand in the middle, and I'm going to project my voice like quite loud. I understand. All right. So first off, this jacket is like this represents my time in Japan. So, an exchange student. Well, I was an exchange student in Wisconsin, and I was a part of the district where I went to Japan for a year, and this is the jacket that represents it. It's all the badges and whatnot. This is my high school. My high school, we went to Australia, so they I put this there as well. So, but I'm going to take this off because it's quite warm. But all right, fantastic. So good to go. All right, good to go. All right, so thank you everybody for inviting me today. So I want to talk to you about the difference between branding and marketing, right? Because we always hear those two interchangeably. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what the difference is between branding and marketing. Can I just get a few different perspectives?
A notion of what your brand is in order to market it.
Okay, you need to know what your brand is before you do the marketing. Okay.
What your message is.
That's the difference in message. Okay. And then can I get just one more difference between branding and marketing?
Branding is like the first thing you want someone to come, first idea you want to come into someone's mind when you hear whatever, like, you know, Janine's brand is X, whatever it is. But the marketing is how you're going to get that message across to people.
Right.
Exactly it. So, Celia, right?
Yes.
So what Celia said is branding is the message and marketing is how you're going to get that message out to people. So I pretty much say it like this. So marketing is a promotional tool that pushes yourself to the marketplace. Branding is an attraction tool to pull the marketplace to you. And that's how I kind of solve that. Marketing, push, branding, pull, right? So I want to talk to you today about building a strategy where you can attract the right people, attract the right community, resources, opportunities so that you can expand your brand, right? So how many of you fit into this category? You can raise your hand. You work in 8 hours a day, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. You work really hard. But at the end of the day, month, year, you really don't have much to show for it. You know you can be doing a lot better. I mean, I work all these hours, but I'm not really getting the outcome that I wish I had in mind. So if you fall into that category, I want to introduce to you like I would call them four foundational principles of branding. Four layers. All right. So the first layer is your outer ring. Who is your customer, right? I'm not one of those speakers that says your customer needs to be like this person. Her name is Mary. She goes to school. I'm not the type of person that creates a very specific avatar, because we're all very unique people, and we all have many different dimensions about us. So you might be interested in one thing, or you might have a secret interest that people don't like. So I'm not too big on creating a specific avatar because we're all very unique. So I want to just skip that. Not skip it, but it's important. And you do want to have generalities. Some people, you do want to have generalities, but I want to go into the deeper layers. That's outer layer. Who's your customer? The second layer is, what do you sell? All right. So I'm just gonna ask you, can I get 3 volunteers, please? 3 volunteers, raise your hand. 1, 2. I got 3 right here, right? So I'm gonna ask you, what do you sell? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to answer. All right? All right, I'm gonna ask you, so what do you sell?
Oh, advertising.
Okay, what do you sell?
Protection.
What do you sell?
A smile.
Okay, what do you sell?
Ask me again.
Yes.
A sense of security.
Okay, what do you sell?
Cash flow security.
Okay, what do you sell? All right, that's 5 seconds. And lastly, what do you sell?
Life insurance.
Life insurance. All right. I'm gonna get a different. Can I get 3 more volunteers, please? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. What do you sell?
Peace of mind.
What do you sell? What do you sell? Okay, I think you kind of get the gist here, right? So I do an interview series where I interview different professionals, and I always like to ask that question or some variation of it. And it's important to know what we sell, For example, I know you do accounting, bookkeeping, right? And that's the first layer. That's what people see. But underneath that is what we want to focus on, right? What do we really actually sell? So, can I get what did you mention?
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. What's the service that you sell?
ADT security.
Okay, so you know spot on what I'm talking about. Can I get another service? You said you do advertising. So what do you think you actually really sell beneath that?
We try to sell our customers saying if you do this advertising, it'll be good for you.
Okay. Why?
It'll be good for your business.
Why?
It keeps yourself in the public eye.
Public eye. So what you're selling is a public platform. All right. So this is the, I guess, a strategy of branding. You always want to ask yourself, what am I selling? What am I selling? And really get to that core. So that's number one, right? So we spoke about the layers. The layer below that is, we talked about, what we sell, but people ultimately buy three things: time, money, and say happiness. All right? Time, money, and happiness. So if what you sell that's your unique selling point. What people buy, time, money, and happiness, this is your positioning, right? And so this is important because once you get these two in alignment, then you want to use this language in all of your communication. You want to use this language in how you speak to people, how you dress, your marketing platforms, your social media, your videos. So once you get these two once you understand what you actually sell and what people are actually buying from you, then you can start speaking that language. And I know you're saying, Amadeus, why aren't we talking about branding? Branding is about colors and logos and whatnot. Well, branding starts with two things. Sorry, it starts with one thing actually. Black and white text, words. So we call it copyright, right? So once we get to understand these things, then we can write them down. It becomes copy. Then we can extract it and we can share that copy, right? So we talked about the outer layer of who your customer is. Then we talked about what do you sell. And then we talked about what people are actually buying. So target, USP, positioning. Now here's the core. Now some of you in this room, actually probably everyone besides my nephew, remember a radio and remember how a radio actually worked back in the day? We actually had to turn the knob to get to the frequency, right? So here's this correlate. I was talking about this radio, right? We had to turn the radio and then somebody was actually start talking. Now, so think about this, what I'm about to explain to you, this is actually your channel, right? So this is when people, this core layer is your actual channel, right? And how you get to this is asking yourself a very simple question, but very important. This is the question. In this 100 years that you have, right now, what do you want? And then you need to take that question and ask yourself, what do you want? And then once you got that question, you ask yourself, what do you really want? I think it's important to do that because, like we talked about briefly, all these messages, as we turn into radio, all these different messages, all these different frequencies, everyone's trying to sell us something. So we need to establish what do we want for ourselves. And the way we do this, if you're a solo entrepreneur, small business, you lock yourself in a room, you answer that question, right? If you're a company, it gets a bit difficult because a lot of people to interact with. But you want to establish what you want, because if the outer layer is your target market, and then we have USP, and then you have positioning, this question, this is your approach. This is your philosophy, right? So when
Saying USP, what does that mean?
unique selling point. Sorry about that. Unique selling point. Sorry about that. Unique selling point. So when you ask yourself, what do you sell? What do you sell? What do you really sell? That's your unique selling point. All right? And the core of this is And the core of this is what do you really want? And I'm not talking about I want freedom, I want money, I want happiness. I'm like, okay, if you want happiness, well, what makes you happy? If you want freedom, well, what will you do at that time? If you want money, well, how do you want to spend the money? How do you want to get it? So it's a very layered question that I don't think a lot of us actually ask ourselves. But when we do, and we take the conversation from outward, because marketing is about the environment, branding is about what's happening inside of us. So once we can switch the conversation inside of us, ask these questions, then we can extract it. Then when we open our mouths, we don't sound like a regular accountant. We don't sound like a regular insurance or I didn't remember everyone's speech, but we don't sound like the regular competition, right? Because the competition is talking about very substance stuff. You're talking about very deep values, right? So those are the 4 components. I would say the 4 layers of branding. Now, Amadeus, great, I got it, but how to actually get my message out there? That's the question. So, remember the game of telephone, where I would say something, I would whisper to you, and then, right? Remember, like back in the day, you say, "Hello, my name is Mary Jane, and I like to go to the park." About time it gets to that last person, it's going to be, "My name is Donald, and I love green flowers," whatever, right? So the message is always distorted. So what we have today are platforms like social media, like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, whatnot. I love Instagram. Instagram and YouTube, my favorite platforms. And I want to talk to you about the power of video marketing. So this is actually my specialty, actually. With a video, you can say one thing. Like, for example, I have this conversation going on right now. I'm being recorded. I have 2 cameras. It's video documented. I can take the same conversation, plug it online, and not just the Brooklyn Rotary Club can see it, but the Rotary Club of Michigan can see it. The Rotary Club of Tokyo can see this. The Rotary Club everywhere in the world. And I think that is really the key strategy in pushing out your message. Capturing the message on video and then distributing it to the world. So, just to wrap up here, so we have 4 layers of 4 foundations of branding: your target, your unique selling point, what do you sell, your positioning, do you sell time, money, or happiness, and then lastly we have the core value of understanding what do you really want. And then once you have that message, then you can take that and communicate it. Then it becomes your website, then it becomes your promotional materials, and we move forward from there. But in order for someone to see the value in you, you first have to understand who you are. So, thank you.